Hello everybody, welcome to this quick video on the IA, a short guide to the IA. I just want to show you something. So this is both for HL and SL. Let's go into HL file first. So I've under your folder, I've created, or sorry, under your documents folder, I've created a folder called IA knowledge. And I've got these three documents here. I just want to take you through. I've done the exact same for SL. So you've also got IA knowledge, you've got it here. So exact same documents, it's the exact same IA in SL, HL, exact same. So I'm going to take you through these PowerPoint slides that I made. I've uploaded as a PDF, and then I just want to mention what else I've put on here. So we'll talk about this later, but have a review of this one here. I've put the IA portfolio, a sample portfolio. And what I recommend you do when you're writing up your first essay here, after you've talked with me, when you're writing up the draft of this on Monday, finalizing on Monday, just have a look at the sample one here and how they do this. So it was a very good sample one. So this portfolio contains 3 essays, one from micro, one from macro, one from global economy. We're only working on the micro one now, so just have a look at the micro one here. And then on this page here, I'm just going to open this here because I just want to show you something. This is an economics IA guide for the previous IA. So it's from this group called Lanterna Education. I don't know much about them, but I think they're quite good. I just want to show you pages I want you to have a look at here. So basically just a quick glance, different topics you can talk about for your in micro. For IA, or sorry, for SL, taxes, price controls, externalities, these are all potential topics. Monopoly power is an additional one you can cover if you're higher level. So they've some good tips on how to choose the articles there as well. It's similar to what I'll talk you through, but it's just something good, just good to have another source to read. And then what I really want to show you, okay, here's one thing as well. Here's just some potential topics that can be added in. And if we scroll down, they just talk about structuring your IA and so on. So some good tips on structure. I'll also talk a bit about that. And little comments about the diagrams. I mean, essentially your diagrams, you just need them labeled accurately, and you want to show, you want to show something like a shift in demand and so on. You want to show have some dynamicism in the diagrams. And then just in terms of evaluation, so it's very hard to know what to evaluate or how to evaluate, but basically they give some tips. They have this acronym CLASP. So basically for an evaluation, give some sort of conclusion, talk about, for example, short-term versus short-term impact, look at your assumptions, talk about the different stakeholders, the priorities. What is the priority of the policymaker? What was the intention of the policy? How did this come off? And then also look at pros and cons. So have a look at that there. It'll be a good tip for your draft. And what I want to do then, I won't go into this one here, but just all you have to do is just look at the first essay. I'm going to and use that. I'm going to go into our quick guide here. Close this here, and here we go. So the big picture, what are we doing here? Well, internal assessment is an integral and compulsory part of both the SL and HL course of study in economics, and accounts for 20% of the final mark at higher level and 30% at the final mark at standard level. Bottom line, this is really important. We need to do well in it. It's also internal. It's also, something we get to prepare. You should always overscore on this. So if your target is to get a 6 in economics, you need to get a 7 in standard, or sorry, in the IAs, because you get to prepare this at home. You're not worried about the randomness of the exam question. You're picking the question, you're picking the topic. So it's a really good advantage to score high, or sorry, really good opportunity to score high. So what do you have to do? You have to identify an article. You have to write a commentary independently. You're not allowed to work in groups. You're not allowed get me to do it for you. You can ask me questions and get guidance, but I have to be limited in the amount of guidance. I can't just be, you know, redoing a diagram for you. I can tell you what else you might be looking for, but I can't redo the diagram and so on. Overall, you need to write 3 commentaries. So you can have a look at the sample one there. They did 3 very good commentaries. Your commentaries must cover each of the 3 sections of economics: micro, macro, and global economy. A different concept is to be used in each commentary. So we haven't talked explicitly about these concepts since the start of the course, but essentially our concepts, the likes of scarcity, efficiency, etc., equality, equity, and so on. You have to use these different concepts when you are explaining your IA, and you have to use a different one in each commentary. More about that later. 800 words maximum for each commentary. Don't worry if you're not hitting right on 800, but aim for this ballpark and ballpark, and don't go over the 800. So the rules in IB: if you go over the word limit, no one reads it. They'll all be marked by your teacher. I'll mark all your IAs, but then they're going to be externally moderated by the IB. So my incentive is to mark fair, because if I mark some of you guys too easy, and then these are externally moderated, they will bring all of our grades down if some of them are marked too easy. What's our process we're going to follow? Well, essentially, guys, we're going to do 3 IAs. 3 IAs minimum. It depends on how well this first one goes. This micro IA. So we're more or less finished up on the micro course now. And then we're going to do a draft. I'll give you some input on the draft, then we'll complete a final commentary. So that's when we're done with micro. At the end of this year, probably around May, June, I think in May, we will do an IA on macro. So that's our second one. And then just before Christmas next year, we'll do this exact same process for global economy. Then I will go through your 3 IAs, and then what we're going to do, if we look back at this micro one and think, wow, you know, it was the first time doing it, wasn't very good, then I'll give you another chance, and you can redo the micro one after Christmas next year. But let's not aim for that, because you're going to be busy enough next year. Let's try to get it right the first time, and then same here and here, and let's aim for a good portfolio of commentaries. Where do you start? Well, you start with picking an article, and I've taken this from the Cognigy pages, and let me just talk you through this here. So basically, how do you get an article? Well, the first one, nature of the article. Yeah, suitable articles, time period of articles, length of articles. So I'll talk about a few of these things on the next pages. But in terms of, I mean, you know, your article, it should be something like, you know, any sort of, yeah, I guess any sort of news article like on the internet talking about the various economic stuff. So basically, you saw some of the things. So anything about the different, you know, talking about in the news, like the BBC, the Guardian, any of these newspapers, New York Times, and talking about they're giving some sort of news, and then you have to apply an economic context to it. The only thing I'll say on these here, time period of articles, don't pick an article older than, or that is basically 1 year longer, or 1 year, more than 1 year further back than the article you're looking at, or sorry, than the time now. So have something within, so for now, December 19 is the time. You don't want to have an article that came out before that. The length of the article, try to find something that fits on one A4 page. Language, stick to English if you can. It's fine going Danish, any other language, but you'll have to translate it. you'll have to have a translation in. So you're just creating a bit of extra work for yourself. And this is just this is just the individual work. You just need to work on it yourself individually. In terms of potential topics, each commentary should be written on a current article from the news media. The article chosen cannot be more than a year old at the time of the commentary is completed. That's just what I was saying. Remember, December 19 now. The 3 commentaries should be written throughout the course of the study. That's what we're doing as the topics in the syllabus are being completed. And this is just what we're talking about here. So topic 2, we had this introduction topic. Topic 2 is our micro. We're completing that now. And then these are the topics, some of the topics you could write your IA on. About your article, the news article you choose does not have to be purely economic. Sometimes, and this is what the second point is saying, sometimes when it's not got this explicit economic analysis or evaluation, this is most effective because then you bring this in, okay? But, you know, it's fine. I mean, if it's talking a lot about economics, that's good. But sometimes it's good when it's not purely, or when it's not talking, when it's not immediately clear that this is an economics article, and then you bring that extra level to it. So, for example, some of the ones I was sharing with you guys through the year, the idea of people rushing to buy Christmas presents in Ireland in October. Well, it doesn't really, it's not, okay, so it's economics, but then when you start thinking about it, it's just basically an increase in demand now because of panic and things like that. Don't go for articles with tons of data because it's very hard then for you to analyze that. Just, some sort of loose economic ideas would be best. The news article should be chosen from an online or printed media source, and then this is just about the English language part of it. The original article should be included in your IA portfolio, so make sure to send the article. So either take a screenshot and paste it into a page, or find some nice way to put the article in. Characteristics of a good article. I mean, have a look through these different reasons. This is just direct from your Cognigy. Key points. Don't pick an article where all the analysis is already done. Okay. This is why, as we say here, economists or economics blog, they tend to do the work for you. It's very hard for you to shine if they've already got all the work done. Local regional media or online news media is a good source. Recent events or decisions. So we have tons of recent stuff here. We have COVID's the big one, impact of COVID on business. We've got the face masks, we've got vaccination, all these different types of hand sanitizer, all these things. Don't go for opinion articles, go for facts and figures. I know I said don't have too much data, but just go for objective ones, so they're describing something that's happened, not going, you don't want an article where someone is just giving out about, I don't know, anti-vaxxers or something like that, because that's going to be, it's more difficult to analyze, and you want to just have some facts that you can just apply your economic knowledge to. Avoid explanation, avoid analysis, avoid evaluation. We'll talk a bit more. Evaluation, look at the CLASP. Analysis is just basically using the economic theory to explain what's happening. So don't pick an article where they're talking about, oh, this is clearly an increase in demand, which has put downward pressure on prices. So maybe that Forbes article that I shared, I think, with both classes yesterday on both classes and on the Tuesday, December 15th class, that Forbes article has a bit too much explanation analysis already done, and it evaluates the Saudis and says they do a terrible policy. Don't keep the article too long. Short articles, try not to find one over a page. If you do, highlight which parts of the article you're going to use. Opportunities for IA, we talked a lot about this before, supply, demand, and market equilibrium, shortages, surpluses, how this changes the market price and quantity, how the market helps allocate resources efficiently, and so on. Good topics there, lots to work with there. Impact of taxes, so governments put taxes on some goods to try to correct market failure and so on. It allows for more equity to be achieved in society. Market failure, again, look at some of the concepts: efficiency, sustainability. We've had efficiency here, scarcity up here as well, and then government intervention to promote equity. So I think there could be a lot of stuff on these here, like the price ceilings, floors, subsidies, etc. How do you promote equity, and do they really work? What is a commentary? You are going to be tasked with writing a commentary. Have a look at the sample one. Essentially, I mean, for your draft, just take this simple approach. Start off, have a one-sentence introduction to the article, the content of the article, and then talk about the key concept you're gonna work with. I'll show the key concepts on the next page. Also include, I go for 2 diagrams. So try to think about 2 diagrams you can use to put in here. You're going to use these diagrams. You're going to put these diagrams in and explain write how these articles explain what you've read in the article. Make sure to fully explain your diagrams in the context of the article, and then finally your evaluation. So you're basically here. You're saying, okay, there was a solution to a problem mentioned. What do I think about that solution? Essentially, so you're kind of have an introduction. You're explaining what's going on with the use of diagrams. You continue your explanation with words, and then you're evaluating if what the government has done, or you talk about a potential solution yourself. You examine how the pros and cons, etc., of that, and if it's going to work or not. Reminder of the 9 concepts. Make sure you have these concepts included. Interdependence, we just, for higher level, we just talked about that with oligopolies. Intervention, government intervening to improve equity and so on. Sustainability, scarcity, economic well-being, choice, efficiency, etc. So make sure you state in each of your articles, the article that you pick, which one of these that you're going to talk about. And yeah, that's that one. How are your IAs marked? Well, they're marked in total out of 45 marks, but each individual IA is only 14 marks. So you're wondering, where is the missing 3 marks? That's for your overall portfolio. That's for doing things like, okay, are all your articles below 800 words? Correct. Do your articles deal with 3 different concepts? Yes, tick. So things like that get you they're called the Rubik's requirements. You'll get that's 3 marks. Each individual each individual commentary is marked out of 14 marks. And here you can see what you have to do well. You have to explain your diagrams well. You have to terminology. You have to be able to define. You define some of the key terms you use. You make sure you know what terms apply to the article. How do you apply your economic knowledge and analyze what's going on? How do you do that? That's another 3 marks. Have you picked a relevant key concept? Do you explain it well? Do you link it up with the article? That's another 3 marks. And then finally, your evaluation. So is this a good policy? Will this policy work? What's the pros and cons, etc.? That's the final 3 marks. So that's overall your 14 marks. Okay, what's left to say, but thank you and good luck. I will be talking to you guys in one-on-ones. Hope you enjoyed this video and chat to you soon. Bye-bye.